How's it going, everyone? Are we live? Awesome. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the live today. Um, the purpose of the live today is to basically walk you through, what Zaio is about. Talk to you about our bootcamp, our vision, our mission. And I'm Akhil Bodu. I'm the COO at Zaio. I graduated from the University of Cape Town, and we've been running Zaio for about 5 years now. And we're essentially an online coding school. And our vision is to cultivate leaders that are going to drive the future of African innovation. And our mission is to train 100,000 developers within the next 5 years. So, the purpose of this session is to basically go through what exactly our full stack web development is about, right? We have lots of exciting things planned, lots of new updates. We are going to also announce our bursary winner, right? And we also have a new look to show you guys for our landing page, right? So lots of exciting things ahead. We also have Umpo, who's going to be joining us shortly. Umpo is basically a student in our bootcamp. And I'd love for you guys not to take it from me, but to actually take it from somebody who's participating in the bootcamp. And I think that's going to give a lot of insights to you if you're especially interested in learning how to code, if you've always been curious about entering the tech industry, if you're fed up in your current job and you want to do something in tech, like with the whole AI wave that's happening, you want to jump into tech, you're in the right place, and this is definitely for you. So I think let me just start off by talking about the full stack bootcamp and what exactly it entails, right? I think one of the biggest reasons why we introduced boot camps in the first place is because of the huge shortage of tech talent, right? In South Africa, at any given point, there are 200,000 technical roles that are unfilled, and that is extremely it's a big opportunity, definitely. But for companies, it is definitely, there's a big need to hire competent technical developers, right? It's not just about having the skills, but it's about being able to perform well as a leader, as a software engineer in industry, right? So there are quite a few developers out there, but then they're not able to fit the role because they don't have the right skills, right? So we saw a huge gap. We also actually conducted a study with an incubator called Ingenie, right, where we identified the gaps in the recruitment industry, specifically for software developers. And we saw that one of the biggest things is that even with the whole AI wave is leadership, right? Like, people want to work with developers who have good soft skills, right? So those are some of the things that we're going to talk about in this webinar. Like, how exactly does Zaio create good technical talent that is able to jump into industry? And I think for you, if you're interested in jumping into tech, do you need to have like previous expertise? Do you need to have any kind of special knowledge with mathematics? We're going to uncover this shortly, right? So the opportunity is massive. So if you're here and you feel like you've always heard about tech being the next big thing, it is, and you don't want to miss this bandwagon, right? We're talking about entry-level salaries of 390,000 rands per annum, and with time, as you gain experience, you can hit all the way up until 7.2 million rands per annum, right? And these are stats that we picked out from talent.com, okay, which is probably one of the biggest recruitment sites out there, right? So yeah, I think moving on, let's also talk about the curriculum specifically, right? So our primary goal will basically be to get you equipped with whatever skills you need, the hard skills, right, and the soft skills that's going to make you competent. It's not about just giving you the skill set that's it's not just about giving you the skills and just leaving you. We handhold you, right? So the goal is to basically help you master the programming fundamentals, and we're talking about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, right? And then there's also going to be Python. These are the core programming languages. And once you have a strong foundation through learning data structures and algorithms, right? So these are basically key concepts that you get asked about in technical interviews. And not only about that, but it helps you become an extremely good problem solver, right? So things like data structures and algorithms, problem solving techniques, we equip you with these skills through programming, right? One of the biggest things that makes us unique is the whole real world project experience, right? While you're learning how to build real world applications. Imagine, like, the first course that you're probably going to do is learning how to build Netflix. And you're building an actual Netflix page with HTML and CSS, right? So from the get-go, as somebody who's a total beginner, and I'm sure I'd love to hear from Poe what he has to say about this. You'll actually see how amazing it is to actually build an application. I think that's been one of the biggest things that learners at Zaio have enjoyed. It's you get to flex on these really cool projects, and I think it's something that gives you an opportunity to be proud of your work, right? And you get hands-on experience from doing this. You'll build lots of projects: Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, Airbnb. And then there's also in boot camps we create custom projects, right? So it's something that's going to be unique to each boot camp, right? It's not going to be like the same project for every boot camp. And in this project, this is called the capstone project. You'll be required to really work hard on it, right? But you'll come out of that project, with something amazing, right? Like something that also has AI in it, So that's one of the biggest things. Real world projects. That's one of our biggest exciting things in Zaio. That's been a great pull to attract lots of learners, right? And at the end of it, it's extremely fulfilling to showcase your work. You're not just building like random things like a calculator or a to-do list. You're building real applications that you can show. And I think one of the biggest things in the boot camp as well is collaboration, right? Like I said before, one of the biggest things from the research was soft skills, right? And collaboration is one of the biggest soft skills that you need to become comfortable with, right? So you'll be working in a community of other developers. So in every boot camp, we have about 30 to 50 candidates, depending on how many people get enrolled, right? And normally you end up getting to know people throughout your whole experience, right? And I think one of the things that you'll see is that you'll get into the habit of helping your peers, right? In fact, we have like a whole incentive mechanism to promote that behavior, right? Like one of the biggest things in companies is you want to work with somebody who's going to help other members, right? You don't want to work with somebody who's selfish. So that could be one of your differentiators. If there are two candidates who are applying for a job, and one person is incredibly skilled, however, they're really difficult to work with. It's really hard to collaborate with this person. Whereas somebody is maybe not as skilled as this individual, but they're incredibly easy to talk to. They're very helpful. It's very easy to collaborate with them. They'll probably end up hiring the person who can collaborate effectively, right? And that is something that we ingrain in you in our boot camps, right? We have something known as industry readiness check-ins, right? Which is at every 2 weeks, you will be meeting our tutor and you'll be doing like a simulation of what exactly it would be like to participate in an interview. So there's a couple of things that will grade you on this, and it actually contributes to your final grade for the boot camp, right? So I think it's one of the biggest things that makes Zaio unique, right? It's the whole industry readiness process, right? We make you industry ready from the get-go. And then, of course, career support, right? Throughout the whole program, every 2 weeks, you're meeting with somebody who you can share your concerns with. There's a lot of mentorship that's happening, and you'll be able to voice any concerns that you have, any worries that you have about your career, and we'll be able to help you from very early on. So by the time by the time your boot camp is over, you'll be sitting with a couple of offers already, right? And I think these are the things that really attract a lot of people to our boot camps, and I'm really excited to introduce you guys to this. And like I hope this is grabbing your attention. And if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to drop it in the chat. We do have like a whole comment section. There's a lot of questions. Um, if you have any questions, you're welcome to drop it in there, right? Cool. So yeah, I think from a curriculum perspective, the main skills that you'll be equipped with from a hard skills perspective is React JS, right? Which is basically a library to help you build front end applications. With React JS, you can also build AR applications, which is augmented reality, VR applications, mobile applications, which is React Native, which is built on top of React, basically. So React is one of the best libraries that you can use, and it's evolving so nicely. And then for backend, we actually use Node.js, right? And then for our cracking the coding interview section, we'll equip you with Python skills, right? Because the main goal is to help you with becoming very comfortable with problem solving. In your sleep like this, you'll be able to think of solutions. Sometimes you go to sleep with a bug, and then the next morning you wake up, you kind of just have a solution that comes to you, right? It's because we develop your problem solving skills in such a way that it becomes very subconsciously ingrained in you, right? So Python and OOP is something that you're going to be doing later on with SQL as the backend. And you'll basically learn data structures and algorithms with Python, basically. And yeah, I think, like I said, throughout the whole journey, you're building real projects. I can see this, you're building Tesla, Netflix, YouTube, Twitter, Google Keep, Airbnb, Amazon, a tic-tac-toe game. You'll be building an e-commerce app, a food delivery app, and then a special capstone project, which could include AI and a whole bunch of things, right? And that's basically what the curriculum entails. And then, like I said, there is going to be industry readiness check-ins that happens every 2 weeks, and this forms as part of your final grade. I just want to touch a little bit on how exactly we construct your final grade and how exactly from very early on in the program we're able to personalize how exactly we can assist you, right? So 30% goes into exams, right? Like you'll basically be doing exams at the end of every sprint, right? 10% goes to the final project, 20% goes to assignments. So throughout the whole journey, you'll be using the Zaio platform to do your assignments. And then we also have 15% that goes to coding challenges. And then coding challenges are also directly performed while you're watching videos on the platform. We also have MCQs, and then of course industry readiness check-ins, which is 10%, right? So this is what forms your final grade. And you can see that there's a spread, right? Like we're trying our best to make sure that it's a good mix of hard skills and soft skills. Okay. And things that are actually, like, in the industry readiness check-ins, some of the things that we look at is your etiquette. What are your soft skills like? Are you a good communicator? What are your hard skills like? Your leadership. And then we also have something where we try and promote your thought leadership, right? So we try to get you comfortable with posting on social media platforms, on LinkedIn, to push you out of your comfort zone. And this has been something that I'd love to hear from Po, and how it has impacted his work. Cool. So that's pretty much a little bit of a like an overview of what a boot camp entails, right? Like we've talked about the curriculum, we've talked about the structure, we've talked about the learning outcomes. So I think one of the biggest learning outcomes, apart from mastering the skills and the whole building real world projects, is a guaranteed placement, right? Like, I mean, this wouldn't be fun, this wouldn't be exciting if you don't know what's happening at the end of the journey, right? And I think this is one of the things that you should definitely look out for, right? When you're choosing where you want to learn to code, right? It's like what happens at the end of the program is something you should think about. And at Zaio, we offer you a guaranteed internship, a placement, an interview placement, right? So that is something that's going to help you a lot, right? Cool. So I think that pretty much covers the outcomes, the curriculum, the structure, and what exactly the bootcamp is about, right? Um, I think I can also touch on a couple of frequently asked questions that we get asked a lot. So one of the biggest things is yeah, I think before I jump into the FAQs, I'd love to introduce Mpo, right? I think Mpo is here. How's it going, Mpo? How's it? How are you?
Good things, Akil. How are you? And hey, everyone.
Awesome. No, it's good to have you, Mpo. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. Right.
No,
I
thank
thought
you
I
very
thought it
much
would
for
be
having me.
great, to hear from you, like somebody who's doing the actual program, who's already started doing interviews, who's getting some offers already.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your journey and everything. I think let's start off by just an introduction. So Mpo, maybe just give us an introduction. Who is Mpo, and how did Zayo find you?
Um, Once again, can I please introduce myself? I'm Mpobu Telezi. I'm Mpobu Telezi and an expiring full stack web developer from Zaio. Uh, I found the Zaio platform through my mom and partner, and because I'm not a social media person, but through my partner and mom, I found Zayo. Yes, so uh, my
Cool. No,
journey
that
in the my journey in the Zayo platform is, it's been an amazing, wonderful experience. To come to think of it, I knew nothing about coding, nothing, like zero from coding, but by the helps of our tutors, Akil here, our lectures up there, I'm here now. I can now start from scratch building a website. We have built an Amazon clone app. We have built a, Tesla landing page. We've built a TikTok tech game. Google Keep. It's been an amazing journey for sure. As you can see, my bot. It's full of writings. We don't sleep in this industry, but for sure, listen, you're gonna enjoy the step of the all the steps of the yeah.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, Mpo. I think let me ask you a couple of questions, right?
Sure, sure.
So what is it that actually excited you about learning to code? What was the final thing that got you to enroll in Zayo?
I wanted to challenge myself, because I studied electrical engineering with Vuselela Coding School, Vuselela TVET College. Then I said, like, you know what? Let me just challenge myself and let me go to coding. People always say coding is hard. I did not believe those people. I just said to myself, you know what? Let me just go in, let me see. And also seeing that there's a lack of coders worldwide,
Mm.
uh, that's also one thing, the major things that made me uh, to be in the industry.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm so excited for you. Okay, tell me about, how did it feel when you built your first project?
It felt amazing. I remember
Yeah.
I did not sleep for 24 hours. I was like awake,
Yeah.
coding it. It was giving me bugs. It was very not uh, it was not a restful day on my side, but managed. And yeah,
What was the first project you built? Was it the Tesla landing page?
Tesla landing page.
Yeah. So, just for some context, guys, I think one of the things that you'll probably hear a lot from like the tech industry is bugs, right? So
Bugs.
bugs are not insects, right? You can say Impo is getting like a little bit like he's a bit traumatized by bugs, right? It's not actual insects. Bugs are basically behavior that happens in a program that you're building, right? So let's say you're building a Tesla landing page, or you're building some kind of real application, and it's not behaving in the expected manner. That means that there's some kind of bug, right? You want it to behave in the manner that's been provided to you, like the goal, right? And when you're not able to get there, this kind of glitches that happen on the application, those are known as bugs, right? But yeah, man, like I agree with you. I think the reason why you're able to work like for a whole night, you get into this flow state, where you're building an application and you're like, man, I don't want to stop. You just want to keep going, and you want to get to a stage where it's live, right?
Yeah.
So time just flies. You're just like, holy shit, I haven't slept for like 24 hours, out of
Yeah.
nowhere. So yeah, no, thank you so much for that. Maybe walk me through like your experience with like what do you think about the industry readiness check-ins, and how useful has that been for you?
To be honest, it boosted my confidence in uh, whichever way, because I'm a shy person. I don't like speaking a lot, but as you can see now, we are communicating together in a live session. What really? Okay. But it has been an amazing journey. They take us through a lot of things, prepare us, ask us real world things, interviews. So I actually went to a few interviews, and I'm getting also offers from other companies right now, and I'm currently still in the boot camp. So I did well in each and every interview that I attended. So
Woo!
it's boosting uh I forgot that word, but yeah,
Yeah, no, congratulations,
confident.
Po. Man, that's so
No, thank
exciting,
you.
guys. If you're in the live right now and you're seeing Umpo, please drop like a clap in the chat, or give a thumbs up. Come on, give our boy some encouragement. He's out here getting offers, so I'm super excited for you. And the boot camp is still not over, so you
No,
have an opportunity here to optimize and get the best deal that you want.
yeah.
So just amazing stuff. I'm super proud of you, Umpo.
No, thank you
I
very
think,
much again.
yeah, no, that's super exciting. I think maybe one last question that I'll ask you is, what would you say is like, the biggest challenge that you've experienced so far in your learning journey?
Okay, the biggest challenge was the biggest challenge was when I was on starting on the Amazon cloning.
Mm,
So some few things were new, Firebase. For
mm.
the people that don't know Firebase, I think Akil, you also explain on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, so yeah, I think when cloning the Amazon app,
Mm,
I was working hand in hand with a friend of mine who actually I met through Zaio.
mm,
So uh, we took almost 3 weeks stuck on one problem.
mm,
You
mm,
know,
mm.
we tried each and every platform. We went in YouTube, we went in the internet, wherever. But at some point, when we managed to get to solve the problem that we were facing, we were the happiest people ever. Now
Yeah.
we were untouchable.
Yeah.
We were
No,
untouchable.
congratulations, man. Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest, most fulfilling things, when you encounter a bug that is super challenging, it's really testing you. These are the bugs which get you thinking about like rethinking, man. Like, am I like is coding really for me? Like you start to have this internal doubt, Those are the bugs where, like, once you get past that, like, it's so fulfilling, you feel like you've really accomplished something.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm also like, I learned computer science at UCT, and before we actually built the Zaio platform, right? Like, I actually coded that with Asif and Arjot, who are my co-founders. We actually built a lot of projects, and we also encountered lots of issues, lots of sleepless nights. But once you build it, once it's live, once it's in production, people are using it. It's so fulfilling. It's like, right now, every time we see a sign up, we see somebody enroll with us, it's just so exciting. Like, every day somebody is using our product. So yeah, no, like I think it's a big congratulations to you, to have actually achieved that. Just on that, I think one point I want to talk about is a social element that you brought up, right? Which
Yeah.
is you were able to make a friend, right? I think that's one of the things that we were hoping to achieve when we introduced boot camps, where like you actually make friends, right? So maybe tell us a little bit about like how you met your friend, what's his name, if you're okay mentioning the name, and maybe we can give him a special shout out in the chat or something.
I met my friend through Zaio. Okay, his name is Dakalo Sodiki.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Venda. He's Venda. We met through a problem.
Through a
He was
problem.
like, yeah, he went into my inbox. He was like, bro, I'm stuck here. Can you please help
Yeah.
me? What's going on? I was like, no, let me check it. Let me check it for you. After 2 minutes, I say, okay, I solved your problem. Here's your problem. From there, we became we spoke a lot. Then we developed friendship. Now we talk almost every day, like 2 hours a day on a call, discussing some few things that we want to do after Zayo, building something live,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah,
No, I'm so excited for you guys. I think I'm super excited to see what you both do. Obviously, like getting a job is definitely a goal, but then I think beyond that, like with good friendship, if you guys are both equally passionate about it, you can actually build a really cool solution. You could build your own business. So
yeah.
it's great to hear that you've made good friends with Dakalo. Shout out to Dakalo. If you're in the chat, just give us a wave or something. We'd love to see you around. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things, at least that makes me excited, right? Which is the social element. Because through the social element, because you're helping one another in the closed group, right? So in every boot camp, we'll have everybody in a specific channel, a Discord channel. We use Discord as our main community platform. There are public channels where everybody can communicate, but we have a private group for bootcamp students. So in the private group, if you're actively helping on a week on week, like weekly, if you're constantly responding to queries that other students are posting, you actually get points, right, that contribute to your final grade. So I mean, apart from like that was just a way for us to kind of push you guys to help one another. But that this was the main goal behind it, right? It's to actually build meaningful connections, and hopefully connections that can actually end up in amazing solutions in the future. Like 10 years from now, if we see Umpo in some magazine with the really cool solution that he has developed, I mean, that nothing makes us more excited than that. And more importantly, you'll be helping a lot of people through the solutions you built. uh,
Take a look at you'll see that one coming. It's coming.
yeah.
It's gonna be me and him.
Awesome, man. No, super, super excited. And let's take this conversation offline as well. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about.
For
But
sure.
yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Mpo, for that. I think maybe like while you're here, there's a couple of FAQs that I can go through, right? And then I'm happy to like also like if there's any real experience that Umpo can share, I'm happy to also ask him these questions. I think one of the biggest questions that we get is entry requirements. Like, what do you need to actually participate in a Zayo bootcamp? And like one of the things is address. Like, are you supposed to? Is it like a physical bootcamp? Do you have to like be present in a particular place? No, it's a remote bootcamp. You can work from your home. You can just make sure that you have a good computer and a stable internet connection. These are the two main prerequisites, right? Our philosophy at Zayo is that anybody can code, right? We if you're able to solve problems on a daily basis, you can code. Like coding is all about problem solving, right? It is a bit of an ambitious thing to say, right? But definitely we can push you as best as we can to learn how to code. We have helped people unlock their potential, things that they didn't know they could do. They started doing it. So we believe that anybody can do it. And I'm not sure, Mpo, if you have anything to add to that. Like, what was your psychology before the program, and then like once you started, did you have a realization that, oh my god, I just built this?
Like I was saying, I killed from the start. I knew nothing about coding, and Um, it was awesome for me to when building something like actually working when pressing that button is like it's functional. It's taking you to the website, you know. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's even possible. Maybe we can also show the people who are in here what actually is coding. Or when someone is saying what's VS Code and what do we do in the VS Code side, and we make the code live and see that app running. Like it's amazing, you know. It's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that can inspire someone like I want to do what Mpo did. I want to build myself something, and you can also come with ideas, you know, throughout that experience. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, like, look, if time allows, I'd love for you to maybe just share your screen and walk us through like a project or two, right? And maybe you can just touch a little bit on like some of the code you've done. But I just want to go through a couple of the FAQs, right? I think one of the questions we also get is around the course format. So it is a closed private bootcamp that is remote. You need to be online. You need to be available for at least 6 months. So the boot camp has been scheduled for 6 months. And how it works is you have your own personal calendar, and on your calendar, you'll have tasks that you have to do each day. And you have to make sure that you're completing whatever has been allocated per day. So one of the reasons this has worked like a magic charm is coding can get overwhelming. There's so many things that are out there and can get very confusing, but we've broken it down on a daily basis. So you don't have to think about what's happening in the future. You just focus on what you have to do today and for the next few weeks. And everything is there like in a calendar view. All right. Flexibility of the boot camp. We have 2 live classes that happen per week, at least for the first 3 months. And then the last 3 months of the boot camp, it becomes one live class because you're focusing more on building projects. But you just need to know that all the live classes are recorded, and pretty much all the concepts that are covered in the live class are actually already on the platform. So you don't necessarily have to join the live classes to be able to build real applications. The reason we've included live classes is because it helps you interact with tutors. There's a social aspect to it, and also if you have any questions, you can directly ask the head instructor who's delivering the live classes. All right. And it is pretty flexible from a learning experience standpoint. Like I said, we've talked a lot about this. It's real world applications. You're building real world applications from the get go. DeCarlo spoke about how he got stuck with the Amazon clone. There's the Tesla landing page that he started off. Sorry, not DeCarlo, Mpo, right? Yeah, so you can see that those are some of the projects that you start working on. One of the things that you should be very careful about before enrolling in any boot camp is knowing the support structures. You don't want to be in a position where you join a boot camp, you've paid a lot of money for it, or you have a loan that you have to pay off, and the support structures are bad, right? We have strong support structures for our boot camps. Like I said, it's a closed group on Discord, and there are allocated tutors per boot camp, and there's one head instructor who's delivering live classes. If ever you have any questions, you can directly pop it in the chat, and then your colleagues can also help you with these questions. But if chat is not working for you, you can actually book one-on-one sessions with tutors. And in these one-on-one sessions, you can go dive deep into the problems, and you can figure out solutions with the tutor. And there's a lot of support that you normally get from the community, right? One of the things that Mpo also mentioned is in the projects that he's built, right? His experience like roadblocks, like the Amazon clone that he tried to build, he experienced insane roadblocks. And uh, when it comes to situations where you're really stuck with issues or you're stuck with bugs, you'll always have a support in place to assist you with that, right? The tutors also are very proactive in providing additional learning materials if you need, right? So using ChatGPT or Google to basically come up with like resources and like customize that to you and assist you with making sure that you solve the problem that you're experiencing, right? Career prospects. This is super important in your consideration before joining a bootcamp. We'll give you a guaranteed interview at Zaio. Some of our alumni success stories, people that we have trained have worked at Yoko, they've worked at Amazon, BCX, um, and quite a few companies that we have, right? And if you head over to our Zaio website, you'll actually be able to see a list of all these people, um, at least some of them, and the companies that they're working on. And if you go on LinkedIn and type Zaio, you'll be able to see a list of people that and all the companies that they're currently working on, and they've actually done Zaio courses in the past, right? um, yeah, I think potential career pathways. So once you're done with the Zaio bootcamp, you will be able to get into an entry level full stack developer position, right? You'll also be able to do front end development, back end development roles. So depending on where your passion lies, if you're very passionate about front end development, I suggest that you apply for front end developer jobs. If you're very passionate about back end development, I suggest you apply for that. If you feel like you like best of both worlds, you apply for full stack jobs, right? um, but if you learn, because you're learning full stack development, it gives you the opportunity to apply for all three of them to increase your chances of success in landing a job, right? And because in this course you'll also be given one of the courses that we have when you're learning Python, you'll also have access to using OpenAI and using ChatGPT, and that is something that could be potentially helpful for you if you're interested in also pursuing other careers later on, right? The main thing is get your foot into tech, right? Once you've done full stack, once you're into tech, you'll see what is the next thing that you want to learn to broaden your to pursue what is it that you're passionate about, right? So yeah, I think those are the most of the FAQs that we get asked. I think now we should probably jump into um, uh, either the live Q&A or demo videos. I'm not sure what is the next best thing. Harjot, are you, if you're there, maybe you can advise. All right, so we're going to go ahead with the demo videos. I think we'll be able to see a couple of videos get played now.
In order to book a consultation
right,
with a Zaio expert, visit the website.
Cool. So this first demo video that I want to talk about over here is how to book a consultation. So if you have any further questions and you feel like you want to engage with somebody from our team, you can actually book a consultation, and you can also ask questions on the Discord community. So here's a small tutorial for you to guide you on how you can book a consultation. So Harjot, we can play that.
In order to book a consultation with a Zaio expert, visit the website www.zaio.io, which is zaio.io. Scroll down and go to the section which says book a consultation. You can click on book a short call or find out more. Click on any of these links, which will then open up a Calendly link for you. You select a date. For example, I'd like to book a consultation for tomorrow. I click on the 8th. I select a time that is suitable to me and I'll be available. Make sure you have your questions ready, as this is a 15-minute consultation. So I'll select 9:15. Next, enter my name, my email, my contact number, what way I'd like to be contacted. Do I want it to be online, which is Google Meets, or do I want it to be a phone call, so that the consultant can directly give you a phone call? And then you click on schedule an event, and then your consultation will be booked with a Zaio expert.
Awesome. So that is how you book consultations. It's available directly from the Zaio website. And normally, once you book a consultation, you feel a lot at ease. So if you have any questions looming around, please definitely book a consultation. You can head over to www.zaio.io and you can book a consultation today. The next demo video that I want to walk you guys through is how to enroll into Zaio.
In order to apply for a Zaio course, visit the Zaio website www.zaio.io, which is zaio.io. Then you can scroll down or click on browse course, and then you'll be able to view the two courses that we offer, which is the full stack web development bootcamp and the full stack web development self-paced option. So when you click on the bootcamp, you'll be able to view the bootcamp offerings, and when you click into the self-paced, you'll be able to view the self-paced offering. You can compare the two courses and then click on either apply now or enroll now for the course that you're interested in. So for example, bootcamp, you'll be able to click on apply now, or if you're interested in the self-paced, you can directly click on enroll now and start the application process.
So just on that one, maybe you might be wondering what is the difference between self-paced and bootcamp. So self-paced, like the name suggests, is basically a course that allows you to learn at your own pace. Maybe you don't need all the support structures. Maybe you don't need all the live classes, and there is no guaranteed interview placement for that because we're not monitoring you on a week, right? Because the responsibility is on you to perform, right? Whereas with boot camps, we've been talking about boot camps. It's pretty hands-on, and it's a guaranteed interview placement that we get. And from the get-go, we're preparing you for the interview. So that's the main difference. And then I think the next one is how our tutor support works. We can also watch a small tutorial on this
Go
now.
to the option on the left, click on tutor support, and then use our Discord channel, which will allow you access to our tutors. There is a video on the bottom which I suggest that you watch, that will explain how our tutor support works, and then you can click on the join Discord button, and that will basically allow you to join the Discord channel. You'll have to create a username and password before you join Discord.
Awesome. So that's basically how you can access tutor support, right? You just need to make sure you join the Discord channel. And on the Discord channel, you'll see a section that's called queries, tutor support queries. And you'll be able to ask questions specific to the relevant categories on Discord, right? If you want to access the Discord link, please create your Zaio account, and you'll be able to continue on to accessing the tutor page from your dashboard. AI is a huge buzzword these days, but we're actually using AI to personalize the experience for our learners and provide them with better support. So here's a small demo on how Zaio has an AI
you
tutor.
also have access to our AI tutor, which is available 24/7. So for example, if you're doing an assignment or you are practicing on our online code editor, the assignment is to assign x to a 4, and there's some mistake. For example, the t isn't there on print, and you've assigned 4 to it. You finish your assignment, but there's an error, it's not compiling. You can then see that our AI tutor will be able to give you some feedback that there is a small typo in the system.out.print ln statement. You need to correct that. So you can correct that, and then you'll be able to basically answer the assignment or see where your error is. If you have a question, for example, how do for loops work in JavaScript, you can ask that question, and our AI tutor will be able to assist you immediately. So I've asked the question, the AI tutor is now writing the answer. That will basically explain you how the for loop works in JavaScript. Awesome. So this is basically our AI tutor, and you'll have access to this any time of the day.
Awesome. And I think every time you hit save on your code, we'll basically give you some feedback on how that code is doing through our AI tutor, right? I think I just want to give some special shout outs to instrumental people that have helped our bootcamps become a success, right? I think special shout out to Abby, right? I think she's in the chat right now, and she's basically our admin officer, and she's just been amazing, with how she deals with all the candidates who are curious about learning how to code, and very patiently reaches out to them, assists them, and there's a whole team of people that are working with Abby So special shout out to Abby and team. Yeah, amazing stuff, guys. I think you guys are really killing it. And then I also want to give a special shout out to Johan, our head tutor, and we have a little bit of a like a small video that we can also share. Johan is basically the head instructor, so let's see the video.
Delete that, and then also delete this import, okay, at the top there. We don't need those. Okay, so that's your index.js done. Then we can move over to the app.js. Okay, so this is now where you saw the logo with the text at the bottom, learn react. That's what appeared on
So guys, this is basically a video that you can see of Johan, who, this is a little bit of a behind the scenes, the video of how he's actually running the live classes. And that's how he basically has the code, and he's actually teaching you how to build applications through a live class. So that is a really cool video, and a special shout out to Johan, right? I think let us go ahead and announce the bursary receipt, who's basically receiving the bursary. So I think I saw her name in the chat, but basically Aisha Saidi is the one who is winning the bursary, right? So she's congratulations, Aisha. I hope this experience, the whole Zaio bootcamp is going to be transformative for you. I'm not sure if you're in the chat, but that is basically the announcement, right? I think I'd also like to give give you guys a special look right now. You might have already seen in the videos, in the demo videos that Harjot created. You would have probably seen our new landing page update, right? So we're super excited to provide a new fresh look to our landing page. So I think Harjot, maybe you can well, you guys already saw the demos, right? But I just want to announce that there is a fresh new look for the Zaio platform, right? I think another important shout out that I'd love to give here is to Yazid, right? Yazid is basically the growth manager at Zaio, and he's working basically with Abby and team to make our boot camps a success. So thank you so much, Yazid. Special shout out to you too. There's also Ahmed here. There's Nintendo. So special shout out to you guys as well. Amazing stuff. And yeah, I think the landing page, the new fresh look, you guys have probably already seen the videos of it, right? So we're super excited to provide you guys with that new look. But now I think we can move on to the Q&A section, right? Let's spend a couple of minutes where I can answer any questions that you guys might have. So Harjot, maybe if you can pinpoint a couple of questions so we can see it appear on the screen, and I can answer them. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat right now. So a lot of congratulations to Aisha. I can see in the chat happening. So the question from Michael here is, how many hours would you suggest you apply to Zaio course per week? Oh, that's an incredible question. So this is something that you will see is broken down on your calendar, right? You will probably be expected to spend at least 10 to 20 hours a week, right? On the course. But obviously, depending on the project, sometimes you might end up spending a lot longer, right? Especially if you hit any kind of bugs. But that is the general estimate that we go with, right? Any other questions? I am employed. Can I still join the program? Absolutely. So Shaban, we get a lot of people that are not really happy in the careers they're in right now, and they're looking for a career shift. So if you're somebody who's looking for a career shift, definitely you can still join the program. There is lots of flexibility in it. You'll be able to learn at your own timings, right? Just make sure that you're completing the tasks that you have to do on each particular day, because you don't want to see a lot of oranges and reds on your calendar. So our calendars are normally color coded, so you'll actually be able to see, if you're staying up to date with all your tasks, you'll see your calendar is full of greens. So that is something that we also see at the end of the program. So yes, it is a flexible program. You can still join the program. I encourage you to join the program. There's a shortage of good developers. If you're employed, it means you can probably afford it as well. So definitely check it out. It could be life-changing for you. Any other questions? So same person, Shaban. Can one join the bootcamp and pay monthly? Yes, payment terms. Yes, you can pay monthly. So we do have 3 payment methods, right? The first is upfront, which is 25,500 rands upfront. If you're looking to pay, in installments, we do have an installment plan that you could do with Zaio, where you can pay over 2 months, which is 13,000 rands and 13,000 rands. If you're looking for something that's a bit more long term and that's broken down into more payments and hence smaller amounts, you can actually apply for financing. We have our financing partners, Manati and SmartFunder, and you'll be able to basically apply for financing, and you will be able to choose the term that you want, right? Along with Manati. So yes, you'll be able to pay on a monthly basis, but that'll be handled through our financing partners. Let's see, next question. Do you think Python is the most relevant programming language, or do you still need other programming languages? And does Zaio allow one to learn all these at once? This is an incredibly good question, right? I think this is one of the things that causes a decision paralysis anytime you start learning how to code. At least for me, like initially when I started learning how to code, I was just bombarded with so much information. People are learning how to code with JavaScript. People are using Java. People are using Python. So it's just like, where do I begin, right? What I would say is that, yes, Python is definitely one of the most relevant programming languages. But at the same time, there's still a huge demand for Java developers, for JavaScript developers. Probably the most amount of jobs out there are for JavaScript developers, because a lot of the web, and even mobile apps are moving on to using JavaScript-based technologies, right? So there's a lot more jobs available for JavaScript, right? A lot of the Zaio stack actually focuses on JavaScript, right? And we also offer Python when it comes to doing data structures and algorithms. So we do cover both of these languages that you've mentioned, and you can learn all these. I wouldn't say at once, right? Probably in your learning journey, you'll start off with JavaScript. Once you nail one programming language, you'll see yourself how easy it is to pick up new programming languages, and you'll eventually pick up Python. And then if down the line, if you're like, I want to learn Java, or you want to learn any other programming language, it's very easy to pick up new programming languages, right? I started my journey with Python, right? Then I learned Java, and then I fell in love with JavaScript, right? So because I learned Python and Java, it was so easy for me to pick up JavaScript, right? So I hope that answers your question, Theo. So the next question is, I'm on the self-paced course currently. I want to know what's next after I finished with the recorded videos. Like, what's the next step? Great question. So basically, once you've completed the videos, you can email us and you can reach out to us to basically write your NQF certification, right? And once that is done, you should be able to, once you've done all these courses, you've received all your certifications, please message us on the Discord community, engage with other members of the community, and try to start applying for jobs, right? Like I said, guys, like the thing with self-paced is that the responsibility is on you once you've completed your course to actually proceed on to doing the NQF tests and exams. And then once that is done, the responsibility is on you to try and get the job, right? If you want a lot more hands-on assistance, you'll need to join the bootcamp, because this way we can see you from day one and we can progress with you from day one in a lot more in a hands-on approach. Whereas with self-paced, we don't really have those frequent interactions with you because the responsibility is on you. All right. So the next question is, in your experience, for someone who's a beginner as a developer, how long does it take for them to get familiar or get on track? All right, so this is a great question. So all the courses on Zaio, the entire full stack bootcamp is beginner friendly. You don't need to have any past expertise in programming to actually start your course on Zaio, right? How long does it take to get familiar? We have set a deadline for 6 months, right? Within 6 months, you need to be ready for your entry level job, right? So depending on how you pick things up, which is why the boot camps are such a great option for you, we'll be able to pinpoint the areas of weakness that you have from our industry readiness sessions, and we'll be able to guide you. And maybe you're going to have to push yourself a little more if it's something that you're struggling to grasp some concepts, right? We make the introduction into coding extremely fun, right? I think that's the trick, right? So within the first 2 weeks, you would have built a real application with HTML and CSS, right? So that familiarity, I would say, is something that you'll keep building on, right? You will keep building it on even after you're done with getting your entry level job. Like even once you get your entry level job, the familiarity doesn't stop, right? You keep building that familiarity and you keep getting better and better. And that's how you go from a junior level position to a mid-level position to a senior level position, right? So I would say that it's very dependent on each individual, and the process never ends. So like, how long does it take? Like, it'll take 6 months to get you an entry level job. But if you want to become a senior developer, after 6 months, you need to invest another year to get to that senior level position. Obviously, you'll be at entry level, so you'll already be earning a salary. But in that job, that's how your career progression happens, right? So it's a never ending thing. Like you're going to keep growing in your career as a developer. So Zaio is the best. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. That is true, guys. Zaio is the best. Check us out, www.zaio.io. I think we are probably wrapping up right now. Yes, that's a wrap. Good luck to all the bootcamp applicants. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to book a consultation. And I'm super excited to see you guys, apply for our programs and join us. And you'll probably see me on the inside. But thank you so much for joining the session today. I hope it was productive and helpful for you. And yeah, that's a wrap. We hope to see you soon. Bye, everyone.